Are Neanderthals capable of symbolic thinking? The answer to this question could completely reshape our understanding of human evolution. Recently, new evidence has surfaced that suggests Neanderthals had the capacity for symbolic thought. In particular, the discovery of Neanderthal burials has led many researchers to reconsider their previous assumptions about the intelligence of these early humans. In this video, we will explore this new evidence and its implications for our understanding of human evolution. So, if you are curious about what Neanderthal burials tell us about the intelligence and symbolism of these early humans, stay tuned until the end. Over 45,000 years ago, Neanderthals could be found in the Shandiar cave located in Kurdistan. A Neanderthal male had fallen asleep at their feet. They are excavating a hole in the cave floor caused by a rockfall in preparation for his burial. As they position him with the others, one of the members of the group sprinkles yarrow, cornflower, and thistle around him. One possible interpretation is that Neanderthal Shanidar IV was laid to rest in a flower burial. Did Neanderthals practice burial rituals similar to those of modern cultures? What if they actually did it? There is more to burials than simply disposing of bodies. These are intricate ceremonies that focus on life, death, and the afterlife after death. If Neanderthals buried their dead, they probably weren't as stupid as we thought they were. It's possible that we had more in common than we realized. Around the middle of the 1800s, the first Neanderthal fossils were analyzed and classified as belonging to cavemen. Many people held the belief that Neanderthal culture, which encompassed everything from their behavior to the stone tools they used, was subpar to ours. The fossil evidence was re-examined by scientists in the 1950s, and their findings led to different conclusions. Some of the physical characteristics of Neanderthals can be attributed to old age or medical conditions. They were not a sign of inferiority. This re-evaluation became significantly more important as more Neanderthal fossils, particularly burial-like fossils, were discovered. Why? Why is it so important to bury the dead? Defined burial can prevent scavengers and control decay smells. A group's care or concern for deceased loved ones may be indicated by the careful and deliberate burial of the deceased body. Archaeologists debate the intentionality and significance of burial sites. This can be an even more telling piece of information if the objects are found with a body in an intricate burial. As you see, some archaeologists view burials as having symbolic meaning. Because modern cultures' beliefs frequently imbue actions like preparing a body for burial, burying it, and place goods next to it with symbolic meaning, these are the kinds of actions that take place today. Because symbols represent more complicated and generalized concepts, symbolic thinking has been linked to intelligence. It was previously believed that only humans were capable of symbolism. If Neanderthals were civilized enough to bury their dead, it would indicate that they were not like other cavemen. After their reputation was rehabilitated in the 1950s, a Neanderthal child was discovered in a rock shelter in France called La Feraise. La Feraise, 1970 to 1973, found, 2 years of age, was the age of death for one of the 7 Neanderthals that were discovered. Adults and children alike were hemmed in all sides by peculiar earth mounds. Researchers have hypothesized that this family actually did live in the rock shelter where they were found and buried. It's possible that those strange mounds were some kind of symbolic burial rites. According to the findings of other researchers, the mounds are remnants of landscape features that are caused by the melting of permafrost. Recent examination of La Feraise 8 has, however, uncovered crucial information regarding the body's position and preservation details. It is highly improbable that the head of La Feraise 8 would naturally be elevated to a position that is slightly higher than the rest of the body. Juvenile bones are fragile. Therefore, the fact that La Feraise 8 has been preserved suggests that the body was carefully buried. When compared to the bones of the animals that were found nearby, the preservation of this Neanderthal child is much more obvious. This suggests that La Feraise 8 was intentionally buried. Similar preservation and positioning in other Neanderthals at the site suggests this may be true for the rest of the group. There's a possibility that Neanderthals' burials can be found in other places. In 1983, a fragment of a Neanderthal skeleton was discovered in Kebara Cave in Israel. The adult skeleton, known as Kebara II, has been interpreted as having been the victim of an intentional burial. These fossils, unlike the others found in the cave, did not have any hyena tooth marks on them. Strangely, Kebara II's skull was missing a significant portion of it. There were no indications of damage or degradation of the skull. An upper tooth was found near the lower jaw, unharmed, proving it was there originally. Some researchers believe the skull was carefully removed and buried elsewhere. Like Laforassi 8, these bones' characteristics may indicate intentional disposal. Do Neanderthals think symbolically? Neanderthal cognition and symbolism discussions have been complicated since the early 2000s. Many anthropologists agree that Neanderthals were smart and social enough to have their own culture. Eagle talons were used to make jewelry. Since these are useless, they indicate symbolic thought. However, advances in taphonomy, the process that occurs between a fossil's death and excavation, have raised some researchers' skepticism. They attribute burial rite features to natural causes. Returning to Shanidar Cave, since the flower burial hypothesis was published, many archaeologists have argued that the evidence is highly circumstantial, especially considering other explanations. Some believe that rockfall killed the Neanderthals and preserved them, rather than being intentionally buried. The symbolism of flower pollen has even been questioned. Burying animals may have introduced pollen. The same flower species and rodents around Shanidar Cave support this. In 2017, the cave yielded its first Neanderthal in 25 years. Only the top half of the body was found, but its position suggests death. A triangular stone appears to have been placed under the Neanderthal's head and shoulders as a pillow. A piece of a stone blade found against one of the Neanderthal's ribs may have been on top of the body. The presence of this potential grave good and the body's proximity to the flower burial suggests intentional burials at Shanidar, but more research is needed. Neanderthal symbolic thinking. Like many of the biggest questions in human evolution, whether Neanderthals buried them dead is still debated. Does it matter? Both. Because sites like Shanidar Cave changed our perception of our closest cousins and their capabilities, regardless of burial evidence. The idea that Neanderthals could bury a group member was important as whether they did. The implications would be huge if we found more evidence for the complex actions and rituals of burying the dead, because it would show that Neanderthals could think and communicate abstract concepts like death, which we often think distinguishes Homo sapiens from other hominids. If we could see ourselves in how our ancient cousins dealt with death, what else do we share? The discovery of Neanderthal burials has led to a re-evaluation of their intelligence and social behavior. Previously thought of as an inferior to modern humans, their ability to engage in symbolic thinking and practice burial rituals shows that they were not so different from us. Burials have symbolic meaning, and it is possible that Neanderthals engaged in these rituals to show their care and concern for the deceased. While some archaeologists are skeptical of the evidence, the intentional positioning and preservation of Neanderthal remain to suggest that they were not simply the result of natural causes. The discoveries of Shanidar Cave, Laforassi, and Kebara Cave demonstrate that Neanderthal burials were not unique occurrences, and it is possible that further evidence of their intelligence and culture will be discovered in the future. As we conclude this discussion on new evidence proving why Neanderthals use symbolism, we are left with intriguing questions about the extent of their cognitive abilities and cultural practices. The discovery of international Neanderthal burial challenges long-held beliefs about their intelligence and sophistication. It raises the possibility that our ancestors were not as primitive as we once thought. As research and technology continues to advance, we may uncover even more evidence about the rich cultures of the lives of Neanderthals. Who knows what secrets still lie hidden in the depths of Shanidar Cave and other archaeological sites around the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery, and we look forward to sharing more exciting scientific findings with you in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below for more content like this. See you at the next one.